okayfm 101.7.
Lo me samwache.
Bakwame. Anopa me joso.
Na boko die.
Obo ade ada room Bakwame bacho na onzo e.
Meso me ho boko pa. Wada ruma mami musa wenura. Yewra Sir John said the special prosecutor and the request ya what they call ye to freeze the access no pending investigations no me ade no court no anyantum ono so accept notice say obeko appeal na de piepie mu ba ye no talks a wo mu a won ye be che ne say
Yo Bakwame. Once again me dawas na me chawa no pay. And yenka emra kakra ne nhwade. I say the office of the special prosecutor is established by an act of parliament. In a parliament, in setting the office up, one my office no boundary. The other can say was circumscribing the powers. Unlike Yoko and Ghana police, no, were restricted at their obey into Mrana or say obey investigating corruption and corruption related offenses involving procurement and procurement related matters. And then such other crimes are Mrana Mahukwan. Ghana police here, omuni any restriction. Crime be almost be then investigated. And the issue of Sir John will know this year a buyer. A baye bibri wuja and petition then can call the office of the special prosecutor or start the investigation. Na emu okaya or ye the FN freezing order. Emrano mahu kwan say special prosecutor obey me freeze an asset. But Emrano nso say special prosecutor oye nipa. Inti so one share now o man too much discretion obey me the say adie. Inti no the maker of the law, that is Parliament, I should say. So, freezing all assets on back to court. Now, Uncle DDF a confirmation order. That is to say, no, Obenya judicial endorsement of freezing now on wire earlier. But what you say?
Mitiopa.
Because initial one, you're on the dear. If you so on call back to the court who said the why any writer. As an court now the judicial way, and then it will have the binding force of law. You can be cited for contempt or anything. Initially, no office of special prosecutor, say obey freezy assets more. Later in my court for confirmation order. Now I'm running to say, "Oko for."
Na me ba say o freeze ye no. Sabre no state of the way no. Net say. And after before so be call confirmation that let's say.
It's held in abeyance.
Okay.
What it means is that won't mean foul is an
anchor. Okay.
We are beneficiary of that will. Won't mean young.
Now what of say ebi asa okay say na asem kwa wo court. Sabre no wo mo chiche wie no obi die kra wakofa aton ama obi eno so
that one you'll be in contempt.
No nim.
One who say
me dey read the wie no.
The thing with will and they say your executive. It is a will if it's admitted into probate. Now executor no or better than administrator more or less. On an administer those properties. Now administrator be answer to say trustee. I say Obra Kwame, why what more bra 1 year schedule breeding. Also, baby, I will feel as anti-mammono. Young people are more on so that as many of them can become like you. Into what see Sikasier Foundation for education. What I say? One can say which mean that no. Into what a professionals. Now the Omato Foundation. Those professionals, about the the trustees. Into the day-to-day running of that foundation will be in their hands. As some of omo de bet me akọ court, I could do myself. Now in this case, no, okaya, sebi. Sir John ewu kra de dada 2020 hono. Now ofi mu no, ekoba say we or no kra ya admitting to probate later that year. What you say? And now obi challenging aspects of the will. As no court. And a document we pay and a special prosecutor. But the Embrano S. say, who say, who be freezing assets.
okayfm.
When you are investigating the person for suspected corruption or corruption related offense. So my question is, the late Sir John, before Bewunu, was it under investigation for corruption or corruption related offense? Because it's a primary issue. Brakwame Oluwase Foundation and I would educate Betuano. So on manage foundation the amount. Every month we use to keep your account with the back foundation. Then it turn out say, oh Brakwame if you cannot plan now with the back foundation, no. Then you would hear. Me and me that trustee over the chimney. Say odipa na wa transfer sika na etum no na ne wa asem ana
Aye.
sebi aye kasa nso no onunyamfo Sir John oni ho na when we say one of the basic cardinal principles of law the odi aterium pattern so ni say you can't even condemn a man unless you hear him. Won't mean condemn nipa. Into which Bible move.
Ayi beto me bo. Wakan wa ha. OSP Act no, Office of Special Prosecutor Act no 959 no was a man power under section 38, 39 and 40 to freeze access of anyone dead or alive.
That be Brother check your WhatsApp. My send you section 39. But your kind
Okay.
education.
Aha. My main 39 no. 39 is a procedure against property where a person dies or absconds. And where you 54 no.
No, but the 39 also.
Sir.
WhatsApp. My send you 3.
Oh, okay. 39 in here. An application for confirmation of freezing order shall be made on notice to the respondent. Respondent, one Sir John.
Exactly.
Sir John.
So go.
And shall be accompanied with an affidavit sworn to by the special prosecutor or an officer authorized in writing by the special prosecutor to swear. Okay.
Intake 40.
40. Issue of freezing order.
Issue of freezing order.
Yeah. 1 plus 1 was it. Where an application is made for freezing order, the court shall issue the order if it is satisfied that A, the respondent is being investigated for corruption or corruption related offense. B, the respondent is charged with corruption or corruption related offense. But all the who are not charging the BBS.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And you know, say idea nankana or what no. And now, what started investigation? And now, in the course of the investigation, no previous were from who are a difference. But also in this case, no, the respondent are the named executors of the will. But I'm a sebi. You know, I want young kofa. Na my father so may ye will. Into me be say, Ombe jina mu mame. When we say encounter no, na ye na nanom omuye de efe no samanso. It is a will, yeah.
Okay.
By making no more use younger people because of the presumption that the younger people no are more likely to stay longer. To a younger person, no, they are any witness. I was some so in this case, no, maybe assuming class near bystander. And now,
me ba baby a me kan ye and contradict aha because I have say no the respondent no anyhow. And now aha nso no was say a man power so nipa kro no wawu. But wawu a just say e be wawu no ye subject under investigation.
So okay 54 now 54 na today.
I mean kind 54 no. But jumbo. Other 54 no say or say procedure against property where a person dies or absconds. Any say be any pana wu na wadwane.
Now hear the language no. They use the language now using 54 into to also.
Okay. Or say the special prosecutor shall apply to the court for a confiscation order.
Now,
no,
so catch it. And yet freezing no.
A confiscation order 54.
Confiscation.
In respect of tainted property. Also, it has not been
of
tainted
property.
As you declare say a tainted property.
So the property must first be tainted. How do you taint the property?
Just a court to not prove.
So I could prove in court, for instance, Edwige guilty. Into a Kobasana. At the end of the day, no, that property now acquired, no, it's now tainted because you would now become the proceed of a crime. So because it is tainted, you know, the state can now confiscate it. You can't confiscate if you are not done with an investigation or a prosecution. And the classic example, Okaya, investment kind of, Okaya, the Republic versus Bonsu, alias Benjilo. So, okay.
Mekaba.
After the prosecution, Benjilo, appeal Maneko Supreme Court. Echo Supreme Court. Echo Supreme Court, now Supreme Court, I can't say. The conviction and sentence were proper in law. Then now the state took another step to say, we believe that you acquired it through ABCD offenses or crime. And so now we are confiscating those properties to the Republic. And you know, the maker of the law in 39 and 40, or using the word freezing when there is an investigation. Now, when you freeze an asset, you are not the owner. That's what I say.
Me too, pa.
When you freeze, you are not the owner. That position can change by a defreezing application. But when you confiscate, it becomes that of the one doing the confiscation. And yeah, the Republic.
The Republic.
So the maker of the law, that is Parliament, uses two distinct words: confiscation and freezing. Two distinct. So to be able to establish, you can confiscate, you know, you should have concluded an investigation and come to the conclusion that those properties are the proceeds of a crime.
And then the court will determine says Sanya tainted property.
And even that one, you are applying to the court for confiscation. You can't even confiscate by yourself. Or say, shall apply, shall.
But ono no say waba na sa freezing application no what the about so within 14 days na I elapse. Na so anya sa by the time obey investigation no all the assets might be dissipated.
No, but the question is whose assets?
Sir John.
Where is the person?
Well,
and then now the person you are in court with is just a mere executor.
But asem no mfa no.
He's not. You see, the law is that the person who acquired the property acquired it in a dubious manner. But unless you're able to establish there, the administrators participated in the acquisition of those properties.
No quiet.
And actually, they contributed to, remember I said, administrators are not necessarily beneficiaries. What I say? They are just holding those properties, quote unquote, in trust for the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries here may be Sir John, the workers still no any no. What I say? Now, only panels of trust here, no one any corruption or corrupted related offense and the piano. Not to do the master. You can show Sir John, you are calling me to the bar in 1982. From 82, over 40 years, my year to my acquired this property. Now, it's a year of fair. These properties, you just acquired it ABCD times. Compared to Chicago Warrior, and as Chicago Warrior as a public servant, you won't me acquire those properties. Now, court will say yes. No prayer. Then the court will then proceed. But in this case, no, yeah, Kasamo. One person and the panel until he died. And get the moral argument, the office of the special prosecutor, I call it moral argument because special prosecutor can say, in this fight against corruption, people use very sophisticated tools. And one of the sophisticated tools of using in the say, only public even though I'm a public servant, I will acquire those properties and put it under a will and give it to some innocent person so that those properties will forever be protected.
Are there legal authorities to support the SCA?
It's a very novel area.
Okay.
Very novel area. Anything I would say special prosecutor, all can say, if this decision by the judge is allowed to stand now, in future, quote unquote, persons that are suspected of having engaged in corruption or corruption-related offense will pass on those assets to innocent people, and you can't do anything about it. But you see, I call it moral argument because that's morality. It's moral. But the fact that the thing is quote unquote immoral does not make it illegal or criminal. I
say no, what can say a novel area? Say no, nipa no one kasa no a or respondent no, only this deceased.
Well, meanwhile, what's your court process is now? The name respondents now are the administrators of the estate.
One.
And they are not the people who acquired the property too. None of the administrators is a subject of corruption and corruption-related investigation. It is the estate that you are investigating. What you say? That's the distinction. Assuming that one of the administrators was made and said, you're under arrest. You're under arrest because we are investigating you for corruption and corruption-related offense. Then you can now say, a Japadia administrator no will freeze it. But in this case, he's only administering somebody's estate. That person is also not the subject of your investigation. So it becomes very difficult.
But baby, I'm to be my addition. The judge in the can say, as a senka oba section 54. Now section 54 no ama making come out so I'm so about one so.
And I make even the challenges with 54.
Okay, yeah.
The challenges with 54 deals with confiscation. But you cannot confiscate when you just started the investigation. You have not concluded your investigation. So how do you confiscate? Confiscation is not freezing. Confiscation is not the same as freezing order. The two have legal implications. When a property is confiscated, the ownership of that property is transferred to the Republic forever, unless a court sets aside that confiscation order. But when a freeze is done, it only holds in abeyance, temporary, the enjoyment and ownership of that property. In fact, the ownership of the property is not in the person, except that won't be and financial anchor property. How are you going to demonstrate? Even if you come under 54, it's a tall order. You see, the thing with new legislation in military, time exposed the inadequacies of the new legislation. And when we said the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, a very new, I think in 2017-2018 legislation.
Aye.
Because of that, there are limits. So it is the judicial processes that will be uncovering the limits or the limitations of the law. But you see, it is not the responsibility of the judge to legislate. The responsibility of the judge is to apply the law as it is.
Oh, okay.
So, you see, a judge may see the inadequacy of the law, but the judge cannot stand up on her own and say that, you see, this is the limit of the law. But me as a judge, I am in the work of Parliament, and I'm filling in the gap.
But special prosecutors will make appeal. Now, what will be the grounds?
Well, obviously, when you say special prosecutor or a very senior lawyer, or perhaps not a law lecturer, criminal law lecturer, so I want to believe that or not the ground. But like I pointed out, based on what transpired in court yesterday, based on the current position of the law, even the claim that the office can come under 54 is even problematic, because 54 deals with confiscation. Which of the assets of Sir John are you going to confiscate? What will be the basis on which you want to confiscate the assets of a dead man that you've not heard? And once the photographers and they say dead men don't talk.
Yeah, dead men don't talk, yeah.
So how are you going to ask him, Sir John, this property, a danger away to a hammer? Oh, you're saying, this is that time. No, I told you.
But I was saying, making kind how was the judge with respect totally misapprehended the application for confirmation of freezing order and misdirected herself by categorizing the application as that of confiscation order. Next, I was in the knowledge of the judge, no, not agree and say a confirmation order. It is one or say Wamra under 54. Into one crowd we so misdirected in that regard.
So what you are basically trying to say is that the judge is telling them that go to 54. But they are saying that the freezing order is not the same as the confiscation order.
Sure, clear.
But you see, you cannot also freeze the assets of a man that you have not even investigated.
What do you mean freeze? Obi assets I won't investigate,
No. Have you investigated, Sir John?
No.
Has he been under the subject of criminal investigation?
No.
Has he been convicted of any crime?
No.
Okay, FM.
But I was saying, Chama, we muno. So when freezy about the time, one investigations in the idea, you know, next one be confiscate you, na the idea, na you pakono krano, one more say as has one
but you see, the central question, and they say, who are you investigating?
Say John.
But can you investigate me without hearing me?
No.
Would you not be dabbling in conjecture?
Yes.
What say? But if you are in my will, because I feel in the Yama Menada, right? Mission me a lawyer name for 40. Can you tell me conclusively, say, without hearing me say, some property, are acquired it by stealing from the Republic? You can't say that conclusively. Remember,
it is not just say the burden of proof no lies on the prosecution.
It's always on you.
Okay.
It's always on you, the investigator.
Now what? Here na ebetimi shift on the preponderance of probability.
No, that is when you have established a prima facie case.
Oh, okay.
But how can you do a prima facie determination when you have not heard the person?
Sir Johnson, no,
and how can you hear a man?
Okay.
Now, the difference is that Obi is the ABA, former PTA board. Obi had no cause scratch. I think someone said you can't refer no cause scratch.
Yeah.
In a scratch, a year investigation, scratch up to 2 in the noon. If the service and or the lawyer call ye. Scratch a year and a scratch say, brah. They will say, Omampeli appointed April 2017.
Okay, FM.
From April 2017, and one started lodging to account. There was the one lodging over 35 million Ghana cedis through your bank, various bank accounts. Yet, when you say we are PPA boss or salary, it will be then 35 million. Yet, clearly, no matter. And now, should I get you now what to do in the matter? Not a family so. They run pure water business. And I say, can we see the income stream of the pure water business? What's all running business way? Can we see the income stream? Check from the income and I'll be accumulating to your bank account. Unless you want to physical growth. And also, I don't see how that's possible. If they ask them, now provide explanation for the source of the money in your bank account. It was upon the explanation now of my NHS concluded there. The explanations were unsatisfactory. They're not quite used to Christ. But I see if one is a hindrance waiting for Pontius Pilate to honor. Pontius Pilate, one black person, like I say, Christ, you are guilty. But say, Papa, and Gropo say, women are now so more I do for you. What say yes, that? Not almost a year I do for you, and then you hope, Anna. At least you were dead.
Okay.
But in this case, the person was.
Say, Eddie, no, me quite maybe a banana. Mammy, we say last question. Say, who, say, who 2 Ankasa will bra penny a year special prosecutor for. Why, yes, or Beko appeal. Or say, one quite appeal, no, the judge and I know. Bema corruption in the fight I did or may pa. A Bema and Ukraine, Russia, and the encounter man of the count. Russia Ukraine war, Yana or Many. Kafu do benefit no.
Oh, bro, I'm beginning to opinion for obey the more.
Okay.
That.
Oh, okay.
Or in the lecture, or sign the force was the same thing there before and never better. You know, you're to opinion for obey them.
Beso dia madam for pa no. Madam for pa no or pedressing to send me.
Or me superior, you know.
Yes.
I declare superior knowledge of the law to him.
Mate, me da se anafe.
That's
Me da se pa. Mami ama.
OKFM 101.7.